Hello everybody and welcome to the Sigma software install. We're going to cover three main points in this video. The first one is network setup, or how to prepare your network adapter to connect to the Sigma DK controller. Then we're going to install the software and configure it and go through some of the features of the software as well. Alright, so to get started, let's open up a browser like we have here. We're going to go to our main website, sigma.com, and we're going to click on support and software installation. Okay, once that's up, this is the video you're most likely watching, but we're going to put that over to the left. So I just dock that over to the left, so that is now easy to see and follow along with the area on the right. So the first thing you want to do is make sure we meet the hardware requirements. So we do have a Windows 10 11 PC with the latest Windows system updates. So I'm going to click on start and just type in updates, check for updates, and I'm going to click on check for updates right here. And this ensures we have the latest updates to install the software as well as security and features. So we are completely up to date, which we should be. Close that down. Now we're going to go to the Windows Store just to make sure that the Windows Store is updated. And that again, just pressing the start button, typing in store, opening this up, the Microsoft Store. On the left there, clicking the library, and then click on get updates here on the right. And since we are using the Windows installer, which gives us some great features like automatic updates for both the firmware and hardware, we always recommend to make sure that this is updated, which in this case the check mark indicates that it is. So we can give that a close. We also need an available Ethernet or network port on the computer. This one has an Ethernet port that the controller is currently plugged into, so we're okay for that. But you can also get a USB network adapter. Here's one from Amazon for $15 USD, and it's a USB-C to Ethernet adapter. So this one is a great solution if you already are using the network port on your computer. Okay. And we do have definitely a gigabyte of hard drive space and 8 gigs of RAM on this computer, so we're fine here. So let's go to the network configuration. I'm gonna press Windows R on the keyboard, or you can do Windows and just type in run, and then just click on this run. It brings up the same dialog box, and in here we want to type in exactly like on the screen, ncpa.cpl, which is just an acronym for network control panel.cpl. And it brings up our network connections. And here I already have renamed the Ethernet controller that the DK motion is connected to. So I just called it Sigma Motion. But it's just as easy as clicking on it once or right clicking on it, choosing rename, and just typing in Sigma Integral Motion. Let's do that. Period. And that just lets us know which of the network cards is connected and doing what. So here's our internet, this is our Wi-Fi, and this is our network controller, again connected to the Sigma controller. So I'm going to click on properties for that, just as it's indicated here. And here we want to go to TCP/IP v4, again as indicated in the instructions up here. Click on properties, and most likely your window will look like this with none of the IP settings put in. So we're just going to click on use the following IP address. And here we just want to be careful that we type in the right number, which is 192.168.153.1. And then you can just press tab on your keyboard here, or simply click on the next box and it auto populates it. And then the left should be left blank. You click on OK, click on close, and that's it. So that is our network configuration. Then you want to click on software installation. I'm going to close this down. Click on software installation. It's going to download the installer. Okay, and I'm going to leave this check mark on, launch when ready. Click on install. And this does take a little bit of time. It is downloading the latest version from our servers and installing a local copy on your computer. And the good part about this Windows installer again is that any kind of firmware or software updates in the future are easily installed by just restarting the computer or restarting the app, the Sigma app. If once this finishes and you do get this Windows security alert window, you can check both boxes here and click on allow access. But We've installed this software on this computer many times, so this should no longer pop up for us. Okay, we're almost done here. Voila, and it should launch, which should take us now to step 3, which is the actual software configuration. Okay, and here we are. So I'm going to minimize this window out of view. I'm going to turn on my controller because I know it's connected and I have the IP address. So my controller now is on. The status says disconnected. If it keeps on saying disconnected, here are the 4 things you can check. But there we are. We are now connected. Now, before we power on the system, we want to make sure we put in the rig dimensions. This is basically the location of your motion system on the chassis. So you can click here, here, or on the tab on the left. Make sure you have the 4 posts selected if you have a 4-post system. And basically during the install, you want to make sure that the left and right and forward and back actuators are equidistant. So the distance between 1 and 4 is the same as the distance between 2 and 3. And obviously the distance between 1 and 2 should be the same as the distance between 4 and 5. And that makes a perfect rectangle or square. So in our case, the center of the actuator from the front to the center of the actuator to the back, for us it's actually quite a lot less than this. It's 36.5. And our width is actually pretty bang on at 25.0 inches. Sorry to our metric friends. So now that's set in, let's just go over some other features. Here's a full log. This is a truncated log in here, but this is a full log, and it will fill up as you press, as you open up games or go through different features. And in the settings, we have 4 options here now, or 4 pages. Motion compensation, which should be coming shortly. Our new remote web UI or user interface, some game settings, and automation. So let's actually go first to the remote web UI. And basically what this is your IP address. So any computer or device, tablet, phone that's connected to the local area network where this computer is sitting can open up this IP address in their browser and be able to see exactly the same remote UI. So let's do that here. Let's type in 192.168.159. You can see I already entered it before, and here you go. So this is exactly the same as the UI, and so even if we change, for example, the intensity setting, you can see everything changes in real time. And this would be available off your phone, tablet, another computer. It's also great for sim centers if you wanted to turn on and turn off the rigs remotely. Okay, so close that off. Come back here to the desktop app. Okay, so the system is now turning on because I've turned it on remotely via the app. And let's go back to the settings. So that was our remote web UI. Under game settings, some games, like the ones listed here, require some additional port configurations sometimes. And it's just a matter of sometimes just putting in the port, clicking save, and the instructions for each of the games is listed right here as well. Okay, so under settings, now let's go to our final tab here, or page, automation. And we can have the rig automatically stance or go into the 0 position or be ready for motion when it detects telemetry. So that's what this option does. And similarly, if the telemetry stops, we can have it automatically turn off after 9 minutes or 0 minutes. And that's just done with this app right here. So for example, right now it's counting down from 9 because we had it set to 9 minutes. But if we had it down from an hour and we toggle that, it should be now counting down from an hour before it turns off. We also have alarm recovery, which is if you have a sim center and you just want to recover the chassis, then this would be an option for you. It's really not used that often, but if you do have any persistent issues, any long-term issues, obviously give us a call or email us at info@sigmai.co. You can also have the app launch automatically with a Windows start, and that's just done by going here under startup settings, which launches the Windows startup folder. And here under Sigma, right here, you can see that our app is turned on to start with Windows. And then once it starts, you can also make it start in a minimized state by clicking on this option right here. Okay, so that's pretty much a quick preview of the software. The motion layers again is something that you will get to play with. Any kind of definitions for each layer are defined here if you roll over the information bubbles. And we do kind of recommend, if this is your first time using motion or starting off with motion, maybe set your intensity first at 5 and then slowly kind of build up the courage to go to 10, which is kind of where we run most of the time. Smoothing as well is a great layer we've added recently that kind of rounds off some of the peaks and the jerks that you get from naturally from some of these layers. And then road vibration as well will kind of depend on how your chassis set up and how comfortable your seat is. So if you're not feeling a lot of the road vibrations and curbs and stuff like that at half or 1, and you have a very padded seat, you might have to turn that up to 6 or even greater in order to feel that. We all have bucket seats in here, so we typically run it at about 4.5, 5 is more than enough to feel the curbs and things like that within the chassis. Engine vibration as well, intensity, just like all the other layers, kind of self-described. And then the distribution is basically where that engine's located. So for rear engine cars, you can slide that all the way to the back. Mid-engine cars will be in the middle, and then front engine cars will be in the back, as midships will probably be around here as well. So it's really a preference thing. Play around with these settings. The good part is you can launch the web UI and have the software running on the computer and make those changes in real time as you're driving to get the proper tune right away. So that completes our software instructions. Any kind of questions or problems that you may have following these instructions, do give us a call. We have our numbers on our website, or again, you can email us at any time at info@sigmai.co. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.